Hi there. Welcome to Unstuck and Unstoppable. And today we're going to be covering some interesting topics because we're moving along with this book, The Secrets of Manifesting, a Practical Guide. I hope you've gotten your magic notebook to write down your gratitude list. You know, the more you are grateful for what you have already, the better off you are. And the more you will be attracting into your experience what you desire, because that's how it works. It's the vibration, it's the being what you already want to be that makes things happen in this world. It's not about wishing and hoping and wishing and hoping. That doesn't work. You need to become what you are working on becoming as if it's already happened. That's what inner power is all about. So today we're going to talk about gratitude and how you can really fine tune it, because sometimes it's very hard for people to get into that frequency of accepting that they're going to attract into their experience exactly what they want, because it seems like too far a leap for them to go through in order to get there. But the reality is, you have to feel like you've already gotten it. And the way you do that is by reflecting back on things that you've already manifested in your life and writing them down in your magic notebook and saying things like, I'm so thankful and grateful that years ago I got to be a stewardess and travel the world. Years ago, I got to, study acting with Stella Adler in New York City and own a modeling agency with my husband, Jeremy. And I got to really check out a lot of things all over the planet because I was interested in discovering the secrets of the universe. And I met wonderful spiritual teachers along the way. Like, I studied with Anthony Norvell in New York. He's very popular with certain people. I've always gotten messages about Anthony Norvell when I've mentioned him. He was a wonderful teacher who wrote an awful lot of books about how to manifest. And, he empowered me years ago when he shook my hand, and he had given a class on how to write a book by just finding something that was already successful and empowering yourself by using that formula in order to make your book happen. Well, it took me many years, but I did finally write 3 books. And I contribute his empowerment of me, giving me the go-ahead, because sometimes you just need permission from a master teacher. And then things can happen. And that's what he did. He was very good at transmitting the powerful secret of the universe to his students, because he would raise the vibration and make you understand that anything is possible if you put your mind to it, because it's all mental. It's not physical, it's mental, it's mindset. That's why gratitude is one of the key, most important elements in manifesting. You have to be grateful every day for what you already have, because if you're not grateful for what you have, you're going to block what's coming. And if you've already thought about things that you'd like to manifest into your life, that means you can manifest them. Just like you're looking for these things to show up, they're looking for a way to show up in your experience. So hold your thought and your attention on what you desire, and forget about all the crazy things that come up in this world that might keep you from thinking it's possible. Anything is possible. I just proved it to myself. This week, I attracted some people into my experience that are helping me with some projects that I'm working on, and they know what they're doing. They know what they're talking about. They're very fifth dimensional people. And I am realizing, a lot of the younger people that have been born on this planet are true starseeds. They get it. They came here for the next phase of human evolution. My friend Jose Silva, whose teachings I followed and taught for many years, because I started teaching his program in 2004, he had that realization in 1998. He could see that we were embarking on the next phase of human evolution. Now, what does that mean? That means that you can actually activate your inner power. One of the keys to doing it is through gratitude, because if you're holding all these lousy 3D negative energy thoughts like jealousy, hatred, reacting to everything in the 3D world in a negative way, it's blocking you. You have to clear out all of that negative emotion. People are very much programmed to be victims in our society. And that's not a good thing. You want to be a victor. You want to rise above it. If someone is harassing you or upsetting you, you don't deal with it by getting down to their level and getting into a screaming match with them or, confrontational. No, you have to rise above it and neutralize it. Sometimes they call it love bombing the situation. That's the master teacher, Jesus, talked about this an awful lot, because when you're at that Christ consciousness, you are neutral. Didn't he say, Father, forgive them, they know not what they do, like they were in kindergarten? How can you be mad at someone who doesn't even understand yet that being down in those low negative emotions is kind of stupid? They haven't gotten to the point where they even understand that they're only poisoning themselves. So you have to just rise above it, not let them suck you in, and keep moving on and find people that you can relate to. If you write in your magic notebook, I am so happy and grateful that I'm attracting the right kind of people into my experience that support what I do, that want to collaborate with me, that want to do things that are amazing, you will attract them. Believe me, it will happen. I've proven it over and over and over again. The other thing is that forgiveness. You have to forgive them because they know not what they do. And they will try to suck you in. There's an awful lot of this going on right now with people polarized and hating this group and hating that group and thinking that group is stupid and that group is out of their mind. It doesn't work. I mean, you have to get to a place where none of it really matters, because if you're on your mission and you're working your purpose and you came here for a reason, and if you figure out what it is, you will know when things show up in your life. If they're aligned with what your purpose is, you'll go for it. If they're not aligned, you'll just walk away. You're not going to take that detour anymore. You'll give it up. You'll just say, I don't need to go there, And it's a very interesting process, but that's part of how it works. It can be kind of lonely when you get to that place where you're not that interested in doing the things or hanging out with the kind of people you used to do things with, because they might be on a different frequency from where you're headed and where you are now, because you've activated yourself. That's okay. Things will eventually show up and you will be ready when the time comes, because you will have prepared yourself. You have to be ready. You have to prepare. You can't just stick your head in the sand. And also, I want you to realize the most important, most powerful power in the world is spiritual power. It overrides wealth, financial wealth, collecting things, like real estate. Maybe people want to have all these different real estate investments, or, investments of this, that, and the other thing they have to worry about. Well, if you can declutter your mind by making things a lot more simple than they need to be, you will have room in your consciousness to create and to bring into the world something useful, something productive, something that gets people excited and is moving us into the next level of human evolution, which is what we're at the cusp of right now. We've been moving there for quite a while. They say it happened in 2012. There's always things happening, but we are definitely moving into a different way of living, a different frequency. You can see it with AI. Some people are using ChatGPT every day and Grok and all these amazing intelligence sites that you can go to get answers. And they're wonderful tools, just like, we didn't have cell phones. We couldn't talk to people all over the planet just a few years ago. We couldn't even fly in an airplane over 100 years ago. And things change. Things keep moving ahead. So you have to be flexible and you have to go with the flow. But at the same time, it's important for you to do that inner work, because those of you who are doing the inner work and finding that inner peace through whatever practice you have. For some people, it's Christianity. For some people, it's Buddhism. For some people, it's yoga. I've met Muslims that were very tuned in people. Everybody has their own path. And that's because we're all so different and we resonate with different teachings and different teachers, but they're all saying the same thing, ultimately oneness. We're all one. We all share the same one mind. And because of that, we can tune in, we can connect, we can help each other, we can collaborate, we can solve problems, and we're going to be moving more and more and more into a very peaceful, harmonious space. And it will be heaven on earth. If you're an optimist, you're in good shape, because the people that are thinking all this doom and gloom, where are you going to go with that? It only depresses you. The reality is, if you're focusing on better and better, every way in every day, I'm getting better, better, and better. The man that came up with that statement, Cuy, was a Frenchman who had people standing in line to get healed, because that was basically the essence of his teaching. You just keep reprogramming your mind by saying to yourself every day, in every way, I'm getting better, better, and better. And it will raise your vibration. And you will get to a place where when something negative comes into your experience, you just slough it off, because it doesn't get your attention. Where your attention goes, your energy flows. So put your attention on things that are positive, beautiful things. Go for walks, go to the beach, go to the gardens, go to the museums. Enjoy yourself, because why would you want to make yourself miserable every single day? That is like so self-defeating. The more you lift yourself up and experience positive things, the better experience you'll have in this three-dimensional world. And I guarantee when you transition and move on, you'll also be going to a better place than if you're just stuck down in that negative muck all the time. Why would you want to spend your time down there and take the chance of ending up in not such a good place when you do transition? I think, just the fact that we're here temporarily is a good reason to do the inner work and spend some time working on raising our consciousness every single day. That's why I call this Unstuck and Unstoppable, because once you get yourself unstuck and you start to understand that you can use your mind to manifest anything you want, it doesn't matter. If you want to reinvent yourself, you can do it. You can absolutely do it. I've proven that over and over again, and so have a lot of other people. You don't have to be stuck. If you're not feeling well, you can just use your consciousness to raise your vibration up to the place where you are perfect. Perfect health is your birthright. You don't need to be wallowing around thinking that you're some kind of sick mortal that's never going to snap out of it. That's not a good place to be. Go to my website, RebeccaTripp.com. The course that I put out there called the Mega Manifestation Method has a meditation in there that you can do every day to get yourself down to the alpha level and go within, to visualize within, in your inner sanctuary, exactly what you're manifesting. You don't have to be stuck. You can go within and make the inner world more real than the outer world, because it really is more real than the outer world. Everything starts with a thought. Everything starts in the mind. So what you're creating in your inner world with your imagination, your mind, and your consciousness will manifest in your outer experience if you just tune in. The Mega Manifestation Method, which you'll see in my website, has these modules that hit on health, wealth, and happiness, all the different areas of life with examples and ways that you can use your God-given abilities. God made you in his image and likeness. You're not some poor little pathetic thing. You are a child of God. So if you go within and you practice, your life will be better and better. I guarantee it.